Welcome back to Leeds Lately for the live stream and the live watch along of Leeds United versus Brentford at Elland Road. Leeds have slipped a few places down the Premier League due to other results this weekend, but we, regardless of that, needed a big result anyway this weekend against Brentford. We need to go out there and put out a statement performance. And I think the addition and inclusion of Max Verber in the actual starting lineup is going to help today. Against Cardiff, although it's only Cardiff, he was commanding things, he was controlling things, and I think we looked a lot better when he was on the pitch. When he went off, we conceded 2 goals. So what does that say, really? I think it might be a little bit of a blessing that Cooper's picked up a little knock, because we get to see Max Verber start in the Premier League at left centre back. So let us hope that that makes a big difference today. Afternoon, Kelvin. Massive game and a must win. A loss, we're going to be in serious trouble. Yeah, just to keep us our heads above the waterline, if you will. If we go into that relegation zone, panic starts to set in even more. We need a big result today. We need to win this one to try and build back that confidence again. We had a big victory against Cardiff in midweek, 5-2. So really, we've got to build on that now. And I think we've got the attacking options, and now with Verber in there, maybe the defensive options to get 3 points today. So I'm really hoping for a big performance. Let's not go behind straight away. And we are off here at Elland Road with a long ball from Raya all the way through. And Cox's header drops for Tony, and Tony volleys it over the bar. Welcome, Matt. Early goal, boys. Let's go. Yes. Let's hope it's not at the wrong end. But it nearly was there. Tony had a sort of slash at it, but it went straight over the bar. Welcome everybody who's joining. We are live for the Brentford versus Leeds game. 30 seconds in here, and Melier is just about to take his goal kick long over the halfway line. Or actually exactly onto the halfway line. Ayling starts again over Rasmussen. I think he's earned that recently. Aronson starts, which may be a bit of a controversial one because he's not been great in recent weeks, but we hope that improves today. Adams with a long ball forward, tried to get it to Rodrigo, but it's picked up by Brentford, and Brentford are able to clear. Adams wins it back as he always does. Strauch is playing at left back and Verber is playing at left centre back, and I think that could be a good combination in there. Harrison starts again as well. Afternoon, Michael. Welcome to the stream. So just over a minute gone then, and Brentford have a throw-in just about on the halfway line. That accidentally slipped out of his hand there, I think, so the throw-in was a bit wayward. But Leeds have picked it up and sent it along, and it's only gone into the feet of Ben Mee. A little bit scrappy in these opening exchanges. Balls just sort of bouncing around between players. Nobody's able to really get it on the deck and hold things. But Brentford have got it at the back here. Another ball long has only gone as far as Mark Rocker, who's picked it up into the feet of Harrison. Harrison tries to get it forward to Nonto, but it's gone out again for a Leeds throw-in. Strout then to take a throw in here. Score predictions, anyone? Is it best to judge Marsh on a game-by-game basis? Yeah, I think we've made improvements. The Villa game, we played well but didn't win. Then the Cardiff game, we played well and battered them, but that was an FA Cup game against somebody who's terrible in the Championship. So the culmination of all that should be that we then go out and have a good win in the Premier League. And that's what I'm hoping for, really, and so that we can actually push forward a little bit. If you want to, anybody in the chat, put your score predictions in. I think it's going to be hard to call this one, but I'm going to say that we never go a game without conceding. So I think we're going to concede, but I think we're going to score 2. I think we're going to win 2-1. Everybody else, get your score predictions in the chat if you dare jinx us. Jack Harrison now breaking with the ball, trying to find a way to slide it through to Rodrigo. Rodrigo's got it, but his touch isn't good enough, and he's dragged the ball out for a goal kick there. It looks as though Jack Harrison might be playing a similar role to what he did at Cardiff as sort of an inside forward between the fullback and the centre-back, and just trying to sit in that pocket, drop off, get the ball where he can't really be marked, and then try and get the ball forward to Rodrigo. But in that moment, Rodrigo couldn't quite control it. But you can see that the idea's there, and I do think that is a little bit of a different tactic from Jesse Marsch, a different way to try and get us in behind, is to have those players. Ooh, Raya makes a mistake there, but manages to clean it up in the end. I do think that is a little bit of a different tactic that Marsch is trying to implement there to try and get those inside forwards on the ball, which I think also, given the form that Rodrigo's in, the scoring form that Rodrigo's in, it could actually be a good idea to play Jorginho Rutter in one of those roles, to try and get him on the ball, running at defences, and then playing Rodrigo in to score. So it could be interesting to see if he does come on, which I expect he might do, given he's the record signing, that he might come on in that inside forward role rather than straight like-for-like striker replacement. For now, the ball back with David Raya, though. David Raya sends it long here. Tony tries to flick it onto Mbeumo, and Mbeumo's got there before Ayling, and the ball's out to Henry, the left back. He's gone over everybody, the cross, though, but Brentford have managed to pick it up on the opposite side. Nonto's won it back, though, and Nonto's tried to run away and been fouled. So Nonto's done really, really well there. Welcome everybody else that's joining. 0-0 here, 5 minutes in. Nonto's just been fouled as he tried to drag us up the pitch and get us out of harm's way, but you can see where those issues are going to come from if Ayling manages to drag himself out into midfield like he did there and lose the ball, because then there's a massive space in behind him. Sometimes you're better off just backing off a little bit and letting one of the midfielders do that job. But so far, no big scares in this game. Max Verber with the ball now. Tries to send it forward down the line to Rodrigo. Rodrigo tries to gamble on it going over the defender, but it's not done that. Adams picks it up again. Ball into Aronson. Aronson tries to play a ball through to Rodrigo, but Rodrigo isn't able to get it. Henry's got it, though, and passed it all the way back to Raya. Raya's goal kicks, I mean, he's prone to a mistake, David Raya, and if we're putting him under the sort of pressure that we are, and the sort of pressure that Jesse Marsch wants to do with our pressing, then he's going to make mistakes today, and there's definitely a potential for him to make a big one that leads to a goal, because at the moment he's flapping at all his goal kicks. He's sending them straight along the floor into people's feet, like by accident, and I think he's panicking a little bit, so that could be interesting later in the game. Mads Roslev makes the tackle on Jack Harrison there, and Leeds have got a throw-in just outside the Brentford box. Brentford have managed to pick it up, though, from that throw-in and send it long. 2-1 or 3-2 to us also. I think JM has a better balance between attack and defence. Yeah, I do think that the way we've played in the last couple of games, we have had a better mixture of attack and defence. It's just that we still seem to be conceding the goals, so hopefully Max Verber coming in there and organising things will stop that. Brentford looking to counter-attack here then, but Ayling putting pressure on Rico Henry. Ben Mee tries to send it down the line, and it's gone through everyone. Max Verber is there, though, to make an absolutely excellent tackle. The throw comes in and only goes as far as Ayling. Yeah, like I said before, it's still a bit scrappy in these opening exchanges, but there's sort of space opening up here for Brentford to go out wide, but the ball is behind Mbeumo, so he has to turn on it. And Mbeumo cutting inside and trying to look to get the ball into the box. Puts it across everyone to Rico Henry, the left back, but Koch is able to clear. It's gone all the way to Ben Mee, and Ben Mee passes it to Ethan Pinnock on the halfway line. Yeah, I think this is going to be a nervy one for Leeds, because the longer this goes on without a goal, the more we're thinking that we need to get some points on the board here, and that we need to get a goal, and the more that I think that maybe panics us and leaves us open at the back. Having said that, Mbeumo nearly got in then, but Strauch was able to cover that off. Aronson's got the ball here, breaking over the halfway line, tries to pass it to Rodrigo and just can't get it to him. And the referee's called it back because there's a Brentford player down here. So yeah, like I say, a very scrappy opening phase. There's not really been any chances, and yeah, it's just that the ball's bobbling around everywhere. People keep losing the ball. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one so far. I think it's Norgard that's gone down after a shoulder from Nonto to the side of the head, but I don't think there was much in it really. I do really like Verba. Lee McCormack, Ross's brother, saying give them time to settle. Yeah, I think they do need a little bit of time to settle. Like I say, we're only 8 minutes in, and I think when you do have scrappy starts to games, they do usually sort of even themselves out, don't they, a little bit later on. Harrison playing centrally where he's usually more effective than when he is on the right wing. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Phil, before about in the Cardiff game, he sort of dropped into those pockets behind the midfield and in front of the defence, but sort of between the left back and the centre back. In that sort of pocket there, he picks up the ball, and that way he can drive at the defence. He gets their midfield turning, which they never really want to be doing, and he gets the defence worried about the pass he's going to make to Rodrigo. I think that's really effective in there, and I think as well if Rutter comes on, he could do well. He could do well in that position as well. Somebody's asking, Pete's asking who's on the bench today. I did have that up before, so let me just have a quick check of that. We did have the lineups up before. Here you go. So Robles, Firpo, Llorente, Christensen, Greenwood, Sinistera, Bamford, Jorginho, Rutter, and Gelhardt. So that is a strong bench. A strong bench. We've got Sinistera, Bamford, Rutter, and Gelhardt who can all come on in there and really affect us in attacking positions. We've also got Christensen who could come on at the back and maybe offer us a little bit more solidity later in the game. Michael saying still to be convinced by Rocker, Rasmus and Aronson this season, but I won't write them off because it takes some players time to settle. In case in point, Rodrigo, we're now seeing the best of him. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take as long as Rodrigo did, but it is something that you have to bear in mind that they might take a while to settle in. I think Rocker needs to get used to the pace of the Premier League, to how much tracking back he's got to do, because I think that's one of his issues. But he will get better at that, and he will get better at he will get more fit, and he will get more able to track those runners. But yeah, Rasmus needs a little bit more time to try and implement the attacking side of his game as well as the defensive, because I think defensively he's fairly solid. Just in those attacking positions, he doesn't really get forward at the right times and do those overlaps that we're asking him to do, really. And yeah, I think Aronson needs a break, to be honest, but Marsh seems to be wanting to play him through it. Just as I said that, Aronson got the ball and just messed up his touch. Naito saying Rutter will get subbed on and score a hat-trick. We can only hope. But yeah, I do think he will come on in this game. Later on a little bit maybe. And I do think if he does, it's probably going to be for Brendan Aronson in one of those sort of attacking forward positions. And not actually out and out striker maybe, because Bamford might come up top. Leeds have got the ball now with Adams. Jack Harrison manages to pass it back to Aronson. Adams now with the ball, sprays it out wide to Ayling. Ayling picks up the ball up against Rico Henry, tries to get it inside to Jack Harrison, and it's just too far for him. But the ball's bobbled around, and Aronson's run into the box, and it's a penalty. Is it a penalty or a free kick? Brentford win the ball back, then Rocker wins it, and it bounces to Aronson. Oh, and I think it's a free kick on the edge of the box. Yeah, it's a free kick on the edge of the box rather than a penalty. But we've had those new free kick routines, haven't we, recently? So maybe one of them could work. Pete asking if we're looking confident today on nervy. I think it's been a little bit of a nervy start, but I think it's been the same for both teams. I think both teams have been giving the ball away rather a lot. But I do think that as it goes on, we'll start to see it settle down a little bit, and patterns of play will emerge a little bit more than the sort of frantic, scrappy opening that we've had. It looks a little bit like Verba's lining up to take this free kick, you know, the new left centre-back. But apparently he's got a bit of a left foot on him. I saw him have a few shots against Cardiff the first time he played. He was having a few strikes at goal, and I think he's got a pretty a rocket on him. Naito saying, do you think Leeds should change formation? In general, if we're to sign a central midfielder who can play that number 8 role, somebody like Unahi or Zaniolo, who we've also been linked with, I think we should go to a 4-3-3, because it means that the wingers provide their own width, and the fullbacks don't have to get up as high, which maybe alleviates our little problem of having, our big problem of having gaps at either fullback all the time. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does with that. But at the moment, I think this formation is working okay because, like I said before with Harrison, those inside forwards are dropping into those pockets and looking at ways to get the ball to Rodrigo. Verba about to take this free kick then. Verba shoots! Curls it just over the bar. Michael saying, yeah, that's what I was just saying. Still need a strong box-to-box midfielder, given that Click has gone Forshaw injury prone. I don't think Forshaw was ever really a box-to-box midfielder anyway, really, was he? He's more of like a holding midfielder. Yeah, and I do think that this centre midfielder, whether it be Unahi or Zaniolo, who not sure about that one, whether we could actually get him because he's quite high profile, but one of those ones could help us to go into that 4-3-3. And I think as a byproduct of that formation, of that change, I think we are more solid defensively if we do that. Ball down the line for Rico Henry. He's going to look to try and get it in the box here. He's looped it high over everyone and it's gone out for a goal kick. We need a better fullback. On which side, Lee? I think we need a left back, definitely. But we have been linked with a Ghanaian left back from the French league, who I will actually be doing a video on. Obviously, as I can't remember his name, you know that I've not done my research yet on that one. Robert Cash saying greetings from Colorado. Yes, welcome to the stream. Anybody who is in the US, as I know that we've got a few new fans from the other side of the pond because of our Americans, our Adams, Aronson, and Jesse Marsh himself. So 15 minutes in here, like I said, a bit of a scrappy, nervy start, but it seems like things are starting to play out a little bit now. Just as I say that, Ayling's just got whacked and gone down there. So free kick in sort of the halfway inside our half on the right-hand side. Pete said she'll be looking at Unahi when 2 goals and 1 assist in a season and a half before the World Cup. Is it all hype? He didn't really do that much in terms of scoring and assisting at the World Cup either. I don't think that's his bag, really. I think he's a player who can come back, defend well for you, and he can also drag you out of defensive situations with his dribbling ability. But I don't think he is the sort of player who goes and gets a load of goals, and I don't know if that's really what we should be measuring him by. I think Unahi's more of the sort of mould of, I will get the ball off those midfielders, I will drive us forward, now give it to the more talented attacking players to go and score the goals and to go and get the assists. So I think we're sort of looking at the wrong ball into the box there from Harrison, but it's not gone through to Rodrigo. I think we're looking at the sort of wrong measurements there for Unahi. Verba done well there defensively. He's very confident, is Verba, in his in what he's doing at the back. He never second guesses himself from what I've seen so far. He just knows what he's going to do. He sees the ball coming over and checks his shoulder, which I've been saying. He checks his shoulder, saw that Mbermo or Tony was coming. He knew where they were, so he could flick it backwards with his head to Ayling. And I think he's the consummate professional in that sense. I'm very happy with him. I'd not really heard of him before he came to Leeds, but I'm very, very happy with the signing, given how he's playing. Nonto tries to chip a ball forward, but it's not gone as far as Ayling. He's been picked up by Cock, though, and Cock and Ayling are trying to have a little bit of interplay, but it's only gone to Ben Mee, who tries to send it long and sends it into touch. Michael saying, we're looking forward to see how Verba adapts more, to see if the defence looks more solid with him in the back line. Yeah, and that's what I was saying before. I think it did against Cardiff, but that's not the best sort of measure of that because Cardiff are pretty crap. But after it went off, we conceded 2 goals, so that speaks for itself. And in this game, I've already said, like, I've seen him do things where I'm just like, I think Llorente might second guess himself, or Cooper might second guess himself in those situations. But he just seems like he's very confident in what he's doing and his defending ability. And not only that, but his choices as well. He seems to make a choice and go with it, which is important for a central defender. Ball back to David Raya. If you haven't liked the stream already, please like it for me, as it really helps me out. It'll help get the stream out to more people. But yes, at the moment, 18 minutes in, bit of a scrappy start. Leeds have had a few sort of half chances, but nothing clear cut. Neither have Brentford really. So one of us, hopefully Leeds, needs to take this game by the scruff of the neck and try and get something before half time, so that we have something to sort of build on in that second half. I know it's only 20 minutes in, and we've got another 25 minutes of this half. We're not even halfway through the half yet, but I would like to see somebody take this by the scruff of the neck and try and get Leeds ahead. Oh, Rodrigo, loose touch there. Leeds have won a throw in an attacking position. Kelvin, I think we will see both Bamford and Cini come on later. I'm surprised they're both on the bench. I think that's due to injuries and stuff, or Marsh thinks that they can have a big impact. But like I said, I think if Ruta might come on as well, I think Sinistera maybe for Harrison or Aronson, and Ruta for the other one, and then Bamford up front. I don't think Ruta comes on as an out-and-out striker. I think he'll come on as one of those inside forwards to try and get the ball into to feed in Bamford, because I think he'd be excellent at that from what I've seen of him. So I think he's kind of adaptable to being that striker and being an inside forward as well. Leeds are just giving away a free kick, which I don't think it's much. There's much in that. It doesn't look like much in that at all. And I think Josh De Silva's just dived there. But Brentford have a free kick, and David Raya's now to take it long into the Leeds half. And it goes all the way through everyone and out for a goal kick. Commentators talking about David Raya's excellent distribution, but from what I was saying before, he seems to just hoof it sometimes and not really put any thought into where he's going to put the ball. So yeah, I don't really necessarily agree that he's got good distribution. Long ball forward from Ilian Meslier, won by Ben Mee, won back by Brendan Aronson. Ayling wins the flick on. Harrison with the ball, but only intercepted by Rico Henry. Shouts for a handball, but it's not given. And the ball's back on the halfway line again with Verba. Into Adams' feet, back to Verba. He's stroking it around at the back here a little bit now, looking for some way of getting through. Rocker with a long ball forward, tries to get it into Rodrigo, but he's headed away. And I don't think really a long ball over Rico Henry, Ethan Pinnock and Pontus Jansson. Is Jansson playing? I can't tell whether that's him or Ayer. I think it might be Ayer, actually. But either way, they're all tall, so I don't think it's the best idea to try and put the ball over the top of them like that. Strauke's in the opposition half whilst they're counter-attacking. I don't know why he charged out like that. It must be something that they're told to do, because I've seen a couple of times where the fullbacks have actually charged out like almost to the halfway line to try and win the ball, and then they've just bypassed that pressure, and then there's massive gaps in behind. But like just stuff like that, just tell them not to do that instead of telling them to do that. Now Ayling's done it, and now it looks as though Rodrigo's playing as a right back. Ball into the box from Roslev. Oh, Jensen had a shot there, but Robin Koch manages to flick it over the bar. Would you hold on to Harrison if we're offered 25 to 30 million? I think I would. I think it's easy to be clouded by recent form and say, yeah, we'll take that. But when Harrison's playing his best and he's getting 11 goals a season and a good few assists as well, it's like that is very, very good to have in your team. And when you can have him on the bench and bring him on, And for the role that he's playing now in that inside forward position, I think he's really good in there. And I'm not sure if we could get better than that for that money. Ball coming in now from Brentford corner. It's taken short. Given back to Mbeumo. Mbeumo into the box. Meslier saves. Oh. Pinnock just crossed it back in, and I think it hit the bar when Meslier was nowhere near his line. Yeah, and Mbeumo crosses this in, but I think it is a cross, but Meslier has to like make a diving save on it. Then Pinnock curls one in and it hits the bar and goes out, but I think Pinnock was offside anyway. But yeah, a bit of a weird passage of play there. But it stays 0-0 at the moment. We haven't conceded 24 minutes in. Meslier sends it long then. Hello, GNC. Welcome to the stream. I don't think Mellier's distribution is that great, if I'm honest. I think a lot of the time he just sort of aims for a rough area and it doesn't always go so well. Man City versus Wolves is on at the same time as this. 0-0 in that one. Kelvin's saying he's concerned about letting Harrison go. He must be a top player as Arsenal want him. Yeah, I think he is a top player, and I would be, like I say, worried about letting him go because of how good I think he can be. He's not always playing to that capacity, but I think he's capable of it, and I think some of the stuff he's done for us in the past, it can't be forgotten, really. I think he's good enough that he's worth keeping. Unless they offer something silly like 40 or 50 million, which I can't see happening. Brentford got a free kick just inside the Leeds half. A free kick has taken long and just went all the way into the arms of ELLAND Meslier. Yeah, Brentford are playing with three at the back, and when in defensive situations, it's almost a full five at the back with midfield players in front of that, and it's been pretty hard so far for Leeds to actually try and break them down. And set pieces, I think Jesse Marsh said actually before the game that set pieces will be important in these situations where they're defending like this. But I think the longer it goes on, the more likely that they are to change formation, to maybe go four at the back or to push more players forward to try and win it. So we could see more chances later on in the game. It's just that at the moment we need to try and fashion something because our players with pace aren't really able to get on the ball and aren't really going to have any space to run into. And so we need to move the ball faster. We need to open up spaces, and our attacking players can then make their runs through those gaps. But at the moment, we are struggling to break them down here, Brentford. It's a bit of a weird one. It's hard for us to break them down here, and it just seems so scrappy. Well, Tyler Adams I think Tyler Adams just turned and slapped a Brentford player in the face there. It looked like can't afford to lose him here. He's pulling Adams and Jensen onto the. I think he's just having a word here, the referee. I think it's David Coote. Yeah, they've smiled and laughed and walked it off because I think the Brentford player wouldn't give Adams the ball, and then Adams turned round to push him, and I think he may have caught him in the face, but it's amicable. It's good to see that even though he got a little slap in the face, he didn't just go down and start rolling round, and we can just carry on. Tony tries to play a ball through to Mbeumo, but Meslier is alive to it, comes out well, but he does slice it into touch. Brentford with the throw in then, halfway inside Leeds' half. Ben Mee with the ball now, into Mbeumo's feet. And Burmo tries to play it down the line, but Leeds are able to cut it out. Brendan Aronson wins the ball there on the halfway line against Ben Mee. Rodrigo now looking for a pass. Rodrigo spreads it out nicely to Strauch on the other side. Strauch now with the chance to carry the ball, gives it into Jack Harrison. Harrison trying to drive. He's going to try and put the ball in the box here. It's gone through everyone. Brendan Aronson blocked well by Brentford. The ball bobbled out for Brendan Aronson there, but the ball was blocked after that. Max Verber with an unbelievable challenge on Brian and Burmo there on the halfway line as Brentford started to break. That is what you need. When Marsh talks about bravery, it's not just jargon. He is also asking his players to commit to things and to not like pull out of things. And Max Verber showed a perfect example of that there. Instead of backing off when Brentford were on the break, Max Verber said, that ball is mine. And he absolutely wiped out ball and man of Burmo. And it was with an excellent sliding challenge, and now Leeds have got the ball again, only as far as it goes to David Raya. Pete saying, I feel for Meslier, he's asked to save so many close-range shots with our defence at the moment. Yeah, he is, but hopefully, like I said before about Verber, hopefully that helps a little bit in there, that he is such a strong leader, and so far he's shown me that he's a massive improvement on what we already had. Rodrigo's just won the ball there off a Brentford defender. Now gives it into Nonto's feet. Nonto to try and carry the ball. Harrison's beyond him. Harrison gets the ball. Goes to the touchline, tries to cross it in. It's only gone into David Raya's hands. Michael saying that you can see the 49ers providing more fundings for Leeds to recruit more players as they increase their stake in the club, as they want to protect their investment against relegation. Yeah, definitely. And I do think the buyouts by this time next year, I think, the offer to buy the club expires, I think, or to become majority shareholders. And I do think that will happen because I think they must have put up a lot of the money for Jorginho Rutter and are looking to make their investment more permanent or more majority. Oh, given the ball away, but managed to get it back again. So I do think the 49ers investment will improve, or increase, should I say. Robert Cash saying, how does Gelhardt evolve into the future as Leeds, or does he? I really like his aggressive play. I think there's a place for Gelhardt, but I don't think it's this season, and I think he needs to go out on loan. I actually want him to go out on loan because I want him to get a full season in the Championship, playing every week, or at least half a season, a consistent run of games, starting and playing 90 minutes. And that's what I want to see from Joffy. But obviously he's not going to get that at the moment here. So I would like to see him go to a Championship team on loan. Nonto's done really well there, and he's just nutmegged a player, giving it into Brendan Aronson. Aronson back to Nonto. Nonto can't quite get there, but Rodrigo keeps the ball in. Rodrigo slips, but manages to keep the ball again. It's chaos here. Out to Rodrigo again, back into Mark Rocker. Rocker's going to look to give it back to Rodrigo on the left-hand side. Nobody really supporting him there. Nonto's got the ball in the box. And it's going to go out potentially here. Goal kick in the end. Bit of a crazy passage of play there. Leeds trying to work something, but there just been so many Brentford players there that we just couldn't get it through. But yeah, I think Joffy, like I was saying with Rutter before, there's potentially a place for him as that inside forward role. But with Sinistera coming back fit and all those other players that we've got, when Somerville comes back fit as well, I don't know if really there's a place for Gelhardt this season. So I'd like to see him go on loan and come back next season and then fight for his place. Brentford with the ball now. Switched out to the right-hand side. And Burmo picks it up here. Back into the middle to Norgard. Ball out wide here with Brentford, but Nonto's managed to win it back and keep the ball in, and he's now breaking. Harrison is beyond him. Rodrigo's calling for it in the middle and manages to pick it up. Rodrigo tries to play a ball out wide to Ayling, and it's only gone to a Brentford player. Ayling manages to tackle him, but it still goes back to a Brentford player. And now Brentford are able to counter-attack. Ayling trying to chase back here. Tony tries to have a shot because Meslier was off his line, but it wasn't great in the end. Can see what he was trying to do, but yeah. So that Excuse the voice crack. Don't clip that up, please. Michael's saying, where do you see Joffrey playing? As that inside forward, like basically what Jack Harrison's doing, but on the right-hand side, cutting in onto his left foot. I would like to see him in there, I think, just to see what he could do. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see him as an out-and-out striker on his own. I don't think he could do that, but I do see him as a sort of number 10 and an inside forward, a supporting role. I think he could play that. If Sinistera gets back to form, I really hope Somerville doesn't become the forgotten man again. I think Jesse Marsh would honestly switch it up based on who we're playing. So Somerville might be more suited to running in behind. So against one of the better teams who's going to try and come out and attack us, and then you might see that Sinistera is needed when we need to unlock a defence, or do you know what I mean? So different situations for different players, and so I think they would get their fair share of game time. Long ball forward from Raya, but Leeds have won it back with relative ease, and now Rocker has the ball. Rocker just coming over the halfway line, plays a long ball forward, tries to get it into Rodrigo, and Ben Mee heads it back to David Raya. You can just see Leeds when Leeds aren't tight enough, you can just see the press being bypassed there. Aronson and Rodrigo were chasing it down, and they just so easily played around that press. I think Aronson needs to be a bit cleverer with his run. He runs straight out the play rather than curving his run a little bit to try and block the passing lane. But it's so easy sometimes for them to play around our press that sometimes we maybe need to pick and choose when we press a little bit more, so that we don't just get caught out like that. Mime Flight is saying, what fast feet and close control by Nonto. Yeah, I think that's his sort of prime capability, isn't it? Is getting the ball down to his feet and just being able to keep the ball almost glued to his feet is what they used to say, isn't it? The ball seems like it's glued to his feet, but he's so good at that. Shots, Leeds 3, Brentford 4, on target 0 for both of us. We've had 4 touches in their box. They've had 1, and they're now in the box. Rico Henry tries to play it, and Robin Koch makes an excellent block. The ball was going to go straight across the face of goal to Ivan Toney for a tap-in, and Robin Koch makes an excellent block there. And Leeds have actually won the throw-in after that. Brilliant block from Robin Koch. The problem is, again, Ayling is caught too central there, and the ball's just gone straight over the top of him, and Rico Henry's waiting at the back post. Ayling needs to be more alive to his position in there. He was too central and needed to just drop off a few yards so he could get to Henry quicker, but Robin Koch saved him with an excellent block of that cross. Harrison's run the ball back in midfield now. Harrison's trying to break forward. He's got Strout running beyond him, and Nonto's trying to run into the box. Nonto's tried to receive the ball there, but Aya is getting there before him. If you haven't liked the stream already, please hit that like button down below. That would really, really help me out, get the stream out to more people. Arnold saying Aronson is being turned inside out. Yeah, I don't think Aronson is doing great here. I think I'd like to see him come off at half-time, maybe for Rutter in that role, or Sinistera maybe. But maybe Sinistera's not fully fit for a full 45 minutes yet. Ball forward to Luke Ayling from Adams. Picked up again by Mark Rocker, but his touch is loose and it's only gone as far as Norgard. Norgard trying to break now, giving the ball into Ivan Toney, but a great tackle from Robin Koch. That's what I want to see from Robin Koch. Well done. That is what I want to see from him. We've been doubting him recently and saying that we can't really see how good he really is, but at the moment in this game he's done well. Nonto trying to get the ball into the box, but it's blocked by Aya. Ball back in again, and it's blocked again by a Brentford player, only for a Leeds throw-in though. Verba seems to be ticking many boxes. Happy days. Yeah, I'm happy with Verba. I think he's been really, really good so far today, and against Cardiff he was good. I'm really happy with that signing. I think he's going to improve us massively at the back. Leeds need at least 4 points from the next 2 matches, Michael's saying, against Brentford and Forest. The screw will turn on Marsh tighter. Yeah, and I do think today's a winnable game, and given the way we're playing, I think we've got it in us to go and win this game, but we've also got it in us to concede those goals on the counter-attack. Ball to Ayling. Ayling stood on the edge of the box, gives it to Rodrigo. Rodrigo's going to try and make space for a shot, shoot, and David Raya is able to save low to his right there. Good idea from Rodrigo. I like to see him trying to hit the ball early, trying to create room for himself and have a shot. It was Rafinha like that movement. It wasn't going in anyway, but he tried to curl it in the bottom corner there. So good from Rodrigo. Definitely improving. Since Brentford have been in the Premier League, Michael's saying whenever they have scored first, they've never lost. But there is always a first. Oh, yeah, that does make sense. That was just my brain. Yes, there is. But they've also struggled when they've conceded first. So if we can score, then they've not got a great chance of. Coming back. Pictures there of Jorginho Rutter sat on the bench. I think he's got a big Leeds blanket on him as he's cold. But, it must be cold in parts of Germany as well. Long ball forward from Brentford, but Robin Koch's able to calmly head it to Tyler Adams, who tries to flick it to Brendan Aronson, but it goes over his head and out for a Brentford throw. Switched out to the right-hand side where Roerslev is waiting for it. Roerslev's managed to get past Strout too easily there. Roerslev's running into the box, chips it over everyone, and it's only gone to the back post where Aronson is waiting for it. And Aronson's gone past a couple of players here. Aronson manages to keep the ball still. He's done really well there, Aronson. That is what I want to see from him. That's what we saw from him when he first joined the club. Get the ball, drag us out of that defensive third, get us up the pitch, and it means that all of their players have to run back and get set again. And I'm really happy with what he did there. That's perfect, what you want from him. Morning, Rob. Welcome to the stream. What time is it in Australia this morning where you are? Ball back with David Raya now. Did I make a score prediction before the game? Yeah, I was just saying before, I think it might be 2-1 to Leeds. Well, I'm hoping so anyway, because I think we don't go a game without conceding. So I can just see us. 12:41 a.m. Oh, it's not that bad. Tony tries to flick it on there to Mbermo. But Max Verber has won the ball excellently. Plays the ball into Rodrigo's feet. Rodrigo, first time, lovely pass into Jack Harrison, who's overran it and it's gone through to a Brentford defender. How annoying is that? Great move. And then Harrison's touch, which usually is fantastic, has let him down there. But Leeds have still got the ball. Here with Nonto, looking for options. Tries to cut inside, but the ball is blocked, but only goes back to a Leeds player. Brendan Aronson tries to play it into Harrison. Harrison tries to get it in the box, and it's flicked up. And easy catch there for David Raya. Yes, we're getting closer and closer to half time here. 41 minutes in. Harrison take it back 10 million. Yeah. Harrison's touch never usually lets him down, does it? And it has there on a promising counter-attack. Tony's got hold of Robin Koch's shirt there. And then the Brentford players complained as though it was the other way around, and Leeds have won a free kick to great applause from the Elland Road crowd. Score update. Man City have scored against Wolves. Who else but Erling Haaland? He's broke his duck of about 3 games. The issue getting to sleep when Llorente step over sets up a Brentford goal like in the away fixture. Yeah. Yes, let's hope that Llorente does not touch the grass on this particular occasion. Maybe something for Leeds to go to half-time without conceding a goal. Well, you've jinxed us now, Michael, haven't you? But Rodrigo picks the ball up here. He's on the halfway line. Not really in his striker position, but plays the ball out to Strauch and then gets forward. Strauch now with the ball, looking for options. Gives it into Nonto's feet. Nonto back to Matt Rocker. Rocker tries to play it into Brendan Aronson. Aronson with the ball now. Leeds just looking for a way through, but it doesn't look like there's much at the moment because Brentford is so organised and so compact. Day is saying, how good is Verba? By the way, loving his versatility. Do you think we'll get a new centre mid? I think they're definitely looking at Unahi, and now Nicolo Zaniolo's become available as well for about 25 million. So there's that one as well is a possibility. I've done a video on Unahi if you want to check that one out, but I am going to be doing a video on Zaniolo and that Ghanaian left back that we've been linked with. So look out for them on the channel. But yeah, Verba, excellent. I'm so happy with him at the moment. Long ball forward from David Raya here. Tyler Adams wins it. How many times do we say that? Robin Koch to take this free kick then, just inside the Leeds half. Just a couple of minutes to go to half time. Don't jinx Verba far too easily to judge it. Far too early to judge him. To be fair though, if I thought that jinxes were real, then I just wouldn't say anything the entire stream, and it'd just be me sat in silence. So Verba's just won another header. Ball out to Strauch. Strauch gives it into Rocker. Rocker tries to play it through to Harrison, who makes a nice flick, but Adams is adjudged to have fouled Ivan Toney there. I think this may be one of those games where you need a player who can unlock a defence like a Sinistera rather than a player who can run in behind a defence. Somebody like Sinistera would probably be good in this game. You saw against Everton in that 1-1 when they were just playing so deep and so defensive. It just took Sinistera to have a shot from the edge of the box and put it in the bottom corner to create something, and we got a point out of that game because of that. So just 1 minute added on at half time, by the way. But yes, like I say, Sinistera is the sort of player who could potentially unlock a defence, and maybe Rutter could as well. So be interesting to see if one of them comes on. Ivan Toney takes a touch in the box there, but Leeds defend it well, and the touch goes out for a goal kick. Michael saying with his spend in the January window, does that mean there will be no spend in the summer window should Leeds stay up? I think there will be still. I think they'll still invest in maybe some defenders in the summer, especially if it's the 49ers that take over by then. I fancy Bamford unlocking them in the second half. Yeah, you've got Bamford as well, who maybe is a bit more of a focal point than Rodrigo and might be suited to this game a little bit more. I do think if we bring on a striker, it will be Bamford. That is half-time. 0-0 at half-time there then. It's positive that we've not conceded. But we need to try and unlock that defence, because it is looking like they are so compact and so tight at the back at the moment. Let me just take these off so I don't have to listen to the adverts. Excuse the headphone hair. So yeah, Michael saying hallelujah, Leeds haven't conceded in the first half. It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it, in the way that we've been playing recently, that it's like if we don't concede, that's like unbelievable, but it's almost like it's not a bare minimum, but it should be something that's you try and achieve most games. But at the moment, it's just like we'll just concede every game 2 goals. There's still time for that, mind you, but at the moment, I'm pretty happy with the way that we're defending. It's just that we need to have that sort of attacking thrust a little bit more, and I think some substitutions could maybe help with that. So for me, I probably would bring on Sinistera if he's. The thing is with Sinistera, we don't know if he's fully fit, do we? So it might not be the best time to bring him on. But Bamford looks like he's fitter and fitter now, so maybe he could come on in that striker's role. And then Rutter as well. I would really like to see Rutter come on and see what he can do, because this is the sort of game where his distance shooting is pretty good, I think. Left foot or right foot, which means the Brentford defence, when they're that compact, aren't really going to know which foot to defend him on, which is something that's really good. I know Jesse Marsh said he's one of the best sort of both-footed defenders that he's ever seen. Players that he's ever seen. So I think that Jorginho Rutter could be a really good option in this game because, like I say, that defence are trained to know which side that they're going to cut onto and shoot. But if it's Rutter, you don't really know which one he's going to cut onto and shoot. So that could give him the edge in creating a little bit more space to try and create something or to get shots away. Rama saying if I would like to see Harrison and Nonto switch sides. I think we might see one of them come off, and I think it's probably more likely to be Harrison maybe. Or to be fair, actually, I think Nonto in this game, he hasn't got that space of running behind, which is sort of his forte is running in behind and taking people on and stuff. And when there's no room to do that, he's not as effective. So maybe Sinisterra for him. But yeah, I'd like to see some substitutions happen. Michael saying, if Leeds don't lose today, do you think Verba loses his place over Cooper, even if Cooper is fit? And over Pascal, should Leeds recruit a left back? It's hard to say, isn't it? Because I don't know what Jesse's going to do. Jesse seems to be loyal to certain players, but I would like to see Verba keep his position. Really, I think that would be the best for everyone if he was able to keep his position in there, because I think he's so much stronger than Cooper. As let's say Cooper's a good leader, okay, and he's a good talker and encourager and all that sort of thing. But I think Verba is more of a good leader in terms of actual organising people and sorting things out at the back and the sort of prominence of his defending and stuff. So I think Verba, for me, if I was the manager, Verba would definitely be keeping his place in there. I think he's been a lot better than what we've had in there before. Pete saying if we can get Cine, Rodrigo, Bamford, Somerville, Nonto, Russa stay fit and play together for 6 games or more, we should be fine to avoid relegation. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? At the moment, it looks like we're just trying to score our way to safety. But it's not been going well for us. We seem to be on the wrong side of that too many times. So it's a risky strategy, really, isn't it? But it's one of those where you've got to look at it and say, well, if we can do anything to sort out that defence, like bringing Verba in, then we should be fine because we score enough goals. Rama saying the games look cagey. I think we would get Rutus on some space opens up. Yeah, that's what I was saying before as well. I think he's the sort of player who can unlock a defence rather than needing them to have space in behind to run into the sort of team that plays a high line, because they're playing like 3 at the back in attack and 5 in the back when they're defending and when we've got the ball. So it's hard to sort of see how we're going to break them down if we don't make a change. Rob Bailey saying, I wonder if Firpo will get a run to put him in the shop window for suitors. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether Jesse Marsh risks that. I think if we were playing against somebody who was completely just sitting back and didn't have any danger on the attack like Cardiff, you'd play Firpo, but I don't know if it's the best idea to do it in a Premier League game that really matters. Michael saying Verba looks like a no-nonsense defender, calm, aggressive, doesn't dwell on the ball. Yeah, exactly. And it's just that level of confidence that he has that I think is really, really helping us out. Just watching some of the replays of Leeds attacking here, it's like we just don't have that final ball and that final that pass. We build up well and then we just lose it at the final moment. Alex, welcome to the stream. Alex is saying, I'd say we looked solid, could do with maybe Bamford and Sinisterra on for Rodrigo and Harrison, a bit more spark and a bit more hold-up play. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant before when I was saying about Bamford and Sinisterra and maybe Rutter coming on as well. They can provide that extra little bit of ability to unlock a deep defence rather than just having players that can play in behind. And I'm not saying that's all Nonto is or all Harrison is, but I do think that we've got players who could maybe do that a little bit better than what they've done so far in this game. Ramos saying, what do you think about Ayling starting over Rasmus? I think Ayling's starting because he provides more of an attacking threat. I think Rasmus is good defensively, but we kind of need Ayling in those attacking positions to kind of create those overloads because they are so deep and they've got so many at the back. So like I was saying before with some of our other players, I think sometimes you've got to think about who's right for what game. So if we're playing against, I don't know, Arsenal, Man City, somebody like that, or Man United when they come to Elland Road and when we go to them, then maybe Rasmus is the sort of player who can sit in and be a bit more of a strong defensive player. But at the moment, I think Ayling's the more attacking fullback. AD is saying boring first half, lacking quality as always. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think it's been interesting to see from a sort of nerdy football side of things. It's been interesting to see the sort of chess game that's going on between the two managers of Leeds trying to figure out a way of getting through that Brentford defence, and Brentford being so deep and so compact that it's hard to try and break that down. And I think that's hard for anyone to try and break that down. We saw Brentford batter Man United as well earlier in the season, and they've obviously had a bit of a resurgence this year, unfortunately. But other teams with better players have struggled to break down this Brentford defence. So it's like seeing that sort of chess game of whether we can actually break it down. Tom saying the defence has been solid, attack has been wasteful. It seems like we can only get one good thing at one end of the pitch, not both in the same game. Yeah, whilst I agree with you, I think that's because Brentford have sort of been trying to play on the counter-attack, and we've been okay at combating that, especially through Verba, and I think Cox played well as well. But I do think that we're struggling because they're playing so deep. I think against other teams we'd be creating more, but I do think, like I said before, maybe a change of personnel in those attacking roles would actually help to try and combat the fact that we aren't creating enough in front of goal to try and get ahead in these periods of dominance. Rama saying we lack identity. I think... I don't know. I think in some games I've seen the identity work perfectly. I think it was West Ham where Nonto and Harrison linked up from the halfway line, ran straight through the middle of the pitch, passed it to Rodrigo, and he scored. And that's like exact Marsh ball. Or other times where you've seen players win the ball high up the pitch and then we've gone and scored. And I can see what he's trying to do there. And so attacking wise, I think we do definitely have an identity, an attacking identity. But defensively, we haven't had that. But it looks like in this game so far, Verba has come in and given us a little bit of solidity back there. So I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing in the fact that we are just being a little bit more solid. Michael Brown saying, I know he's injury prone, but Pulisic would be ideal in that attacking midfield. He stood out for the USA along with Adams McKennie because he called England's problems between the lines and dead balls. Yeah, I do agree about Pulisic. And I think maybe before we'd signed Nonto or Nyonto, I would have liked that, but I don't know whether our money would be better spent elsewhere, especially now that we've bought Ruta for like 35 million. I think our money probably would be better spent elsewhere, maybe bringing in another central defender rather than spending it on more attackers when we've got so many players in those attacking positions. But I do agree with you when in the World Cup and when he was playing between the lines, he was causing problems for a lot of good defenders. John Charles is saying Buenos dias from Mexico, muchas gracias. Thank you for your great work, much appreciated. Always enjoy thoughtful content. Lewis and Patrick to come on and open this up. Yeah, I think Lewis and Patrick would be the ideal players to come on here, and Ruta as well. So I can see all three of those subs, especially now we've got 5 subs. I can see all three of those subs coming on, maybe not at the same time and not at half time, but a bit later on to try and unlock this game. But yeah, I really appreciate that comment. Tom saying the attackers I'd take off is Harrison and Aronson. That's what we were saying before, isn't it? About Harrison, and Aronson are probably the ones that need to come off in this situation. AD saying, how many more games did you think Marsh has had? He's had a year, brought his own players, but tactically, is he good enough? I don't know. It's so hard to get in the heads of the board, but I can't, because they do seem to want to stick with him because they bought him players. Even Verba was his player, and they bought him for Marsh. So I don't think they would instantly sack him after this window. I think he's got quite a lot of time left, maybe until February, March. time would be when they started to look at whether they needed to replace him or not. So I think he stays. Gavin James is saying, Joel Wayne was saying that Koch is having a shocker. I think he's been decent. I think there's been a few times where he's been a bit Robin cocky and sort of let the ball run when he shouldn't have. But for the most part, I've not really noticed that. I've noticed him saving his other defenders who've made mistakes. Like when Ailey made that mistake and then the ball came across from Henry trying to get it into Tony, made that really good tackle, and then he charged out of defence, won the ball, carried it up the pitch and passed it to another player. I thought he'd done well there. So, yeah, I think it's... I think Koch's played quite well today, to be honest. Freddie Mac, why aren't they getting every ball out wide to Willie Gnonto? Yeah, I can see what you mean because of what he's done. But this is random. They're showing videos of Universal City Walk in Orlando, which I was there a few weeks ago. It's on Sky News. I wonder what that is. Oh no, there's a fan thing there on NBC Sports with Tim Howard. That's a bit random. Anyway, got a bit distracted there. Because I think we're not getting the ball out wide to Willie Gnonto because whilst when we went to Cardiff, there was a chance for us to get in behind, there's a chance for us to run at players, but I do think that Willie Gnonto has had the ball quite a lot in this game, is that when he does, he's got a full-back and a centre-back that both push out to him and they double up on him and he's not really got much chance to do anything. So I think maybe somebody who is a bit stronger in there maybe could be good to bring on. Happy to bring to get the ball and give it to another player and make runs, which I know Gnonto is, but maybe there's a little bit of a change needed there. Kelvin saying they can't believe they're playing deep. They're always a high press side. A lot of teams come and do that at Elland Road though because they know it's the way to beat us. They know that if we are to sit back and if they are to sit back and defend, then they're gonna get chances on the counter attack. Tom saying, don't you think our stadium is scarily quiet today? I think it is a little bit hard to tell on when you're watching it on the telly. I haven't been to a game for a while now because I've just had so many other things I've been doing, but I think maybe when you're in the ground it'll be a lot louder than it seems like it is on the telly. Sometimes they turn the crowd noise down a little bit, but yeah, it's hard to tell. I've got a mate who's there, so I'll ask him what it was like. AD saying, AD123 saying, I'd cash in for Harrison, overrated and delivers 1 in 10 games, which isn't good enough at this level. Yeah, but like I say, there's like a recency bias thing about that, isn't there, where he hasn't been great in the past sort of couple of months, so we sort of think, oh, well, he's not good enough, sell him. But over the last couple of seasons, he's scored like an invaluable number of goals and assists, and I think he's been really, really important for us. And I think he can continue to be important for us, especially if he sort of reinvents himself in this new role where he cuts inside and plays in sort of that inside forward role and plays the ball through into our attacking positions. Players are coming out now for the second half. Rodrigo is still on, I think, and Bamford's still got his he's got his shirt with him, but he's still in his training gear, so it looks like he's not coming on yet. Sinistera, Rutter and Bamford. Rob saying we'll ask different questions to the defence. The first goal will be crucial. They will sit on a goal, but if we score, we'll really open it up. Totally agree with that. If they score, they're going to sit back and they're going to do really well, and I don't think we can get back into the game if they do that. But if we score, it will open up and they'll try and come out and score. And then my 2-1 prediction could be on. Jack is saying that Ayling isn't great. Can't watch him when he gets the ball. I think he may be being a little bit harsh on Ayling. I think he's made a few mistakes in attacking positions with the ball, but I do think he offers us a little bit more than Rasmus does in those attacking positions. So it could come good come the end of the game. Harrison and Adams don't play well together. Well, we could see, Lee saying that, we could see a change there, and I think we will see Harrison coming off at some point soon. XMarks97 is saying he loves Aronson and thinks he has great potential but needs to be dropped. I do as well. I think he needs a little bit of time off, especially with Sinistera and Rutter coming back into the team. I think there's potential for him to get a rest there and us not be any weaker. We are just about to kick off again, so headphones are going back on here. Michael saying he'll sell Harrison for Pulisic. It keeps Leeds attacking options the same. Pulisic can play down the middle or on the flank. Yeah, I think that would be a fair shout, but I don't know whether it would work as smoothly as that, given that we've only got 8 days left of the window. I think Leeds are unchanged, it looks like. Let me start the second half timer. Leeds are trying to attack here again. Harrison, Nonto into the box, gives it to Strout. Strout tries to cut it back and isn't able to. It just goes over the bar. Freddie Mac saying we had an early free kick that was wasted. If it had been any other direction, they'd probably have scored. Yeah, and also I think we've been trying some free kick routines recently, which have looked a lot better than our direct free kick. So I don't know why we didn't try another one of those. So I'd like to see us try that a little bit more. Yes, CJ is saying Aronson is too weak. Bored watching him get pushed off the ball every week. Yeah, I think Aronson just needs a break, and he needs to try and figure out what his role really is in this team and how he can play to the best of his ability, because at the moment he does seem to be getting bullied a little bit in those attacking areas where the defenders are just able to push him off the ball because he's too weak. But ball now on the halfway line with Mark Rocker into Rodrigo's feet, who gives it to Pascal Strout. Strout now coming down the left-hand side looking for options. Gives it into Nonto on the left. Nonto is only able to carry it back. And that's what I was talking about. Nonto's not really got any options when he does get the ball. So when he pulls the ball back into his own half and looks for options, he just has to pass it back to a centre-back because there's no real options for him in those attacking positions. Rob saying disappointed with the big sexy Pirates new hairdo. Yeah, you've got like withdrawal symptoms from the Man Bun FC we used to be, where Harrison had it, Ayling had it, Strauch had it, Calvin had it. Everybody had ponytails or man buns. Or now the only one left is Ayling. Aya then with a throw in front of the family in front of the West Stand. I lost my bearings there for a second. Adams with the ball, gives it into Strout. Strout tries to play it into Nonto. Harrison manages to just lose the ball there to a crowd of Brentford players that came around him. Rob saying this might be controversial, but I've been really excited by Firpo and Nonto's growing partnership. Oh, the ball through from Harrison, tries to get it into Nonto, but it's not quite. Bit too much on it. I agree, Rob, that against Cardiff he did really well. I think it's probably a good idea to play Firpo and Nonto against whoever wins between Boreham Wood and Accrington Stanley. I think maybe just like have that as who plays in the. Let me start that sentence again. Have that as who plays in the FA Cup, because I don't think in the league against anybody who tries to attack us that Firpo is a viable option. I think we've seen too much of him now charging out and making mistakes and missing the ball to try and justify him starting. But I do think against Accrington Stanley or Boreham Wood, Firpo is probably a good option. Which kind of shows how much I think about him at the moment. Aya tries to play a ball through to Rico Henry, who picks it up against Ayling. Gives it back, and now it's whipped high into the box, and Strout wins the header. It's gone out for a Brentford throw. Michael saying would be good to shout to try and get Calvin Phillips on loan alongside Adams. Would make that midfield more solid, particularly as Pep is not convinced yet on Calvin. Yeah, I think Calvin's so injury prone, isn't he? And I don't know if he ever really fit into. No, I didn't mean sell him to Boreham Wood. I mean play him against them in the FA Cup. I think that's his level of opponent that he can deal with and be good. But yeah, I don't know about Calvin. I don't know if they would transfer, if they would loan him back. I think it's Man City, so they probably want a big loan sum. And then, did he really ever play that well under Jesse Marsch in a double pivot? I think he only really plays well when he's on his own in there. So I don't know. It would be hard to say really, unless we sort of changed formation and had a lone holding midfielder. But then where does Adams go? So I'm not sure about Calvin. Although I would love to see him back in a Leeds shirt, but I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen. And apparently Barcelona aren't totally happy with Rafinha either, so... The commentator's just talking about how long they should wait to send on Bamford and some of the other attacking options that we've got. But I do think that Jesse has this thing against bringing on players at half-time and likes to bring them on like 60 minutes in, just to say that Ayling's got the ball on the edge of the box, tries to give it into Rodrigo. Rodrigo in the box, tries to play it across the front of goal, and it's cleared by Ethan Pinnock. Good play there from Leeds. Ayling charged out, won the ball in an attacking position, in an attacking situation, the bravery that Jesse Marsch was on about, and Leeds gained a pretty good chance from that. Calvin played in a double pivot for England alongside Declan Rice and did very well. Yeah, but I don't know if that was necessarily a double pivot. When we watched him in the Euros, Calvin was more of a number 8 in there and actually got forward and created chances and stuff for Sterling in that Croatia game. And he was more of an attacking, a number 8 really, than he was a holding midfielder for England in the Euros, which shows how diverse and how good he can be. But I don't know whether that's a good example of him playing in a... When I say in a double pivot, I'm talking about that holding midfield role that Rocker and Adams do. I've accidentally made one player there of Rockham's. Adams now with the ball. Harrison trying to cut inside. Looking for options, but there's just not really much there. Or he's going to go himself, and then Aronson tries to flick it. I think Aronson needs to come off. He's tried to do a flick there, and he's just sort of messed it up completely. Nonto with the ball now with the chance to drive. Cuts. Oh, he just tries a little flip flap and gets away from Roerslev, but only as far as the next defender, who I think Aya manages to clear it. Rob saying, talk about low block from Brentford. Where did they leave the keys to the bus? Yeah, yeah, they just seem to be sitting back, don't they? I don't know if they're going to start coming at us a little bit later in the game or what, but at the moment they just do seem to be just sitting so deep. Man City 2-0, Haaland again. Michael saying, strange that Barcelona has put a price tag of Rafinha on 100 million and Arsenal is showing interest in him, even though he can't get in there first 11 and cost them 55 million from Leeds. Yeah, there's just a big price tag on players from a team like Barcelona, and I think it's ridiculous because Rafinha was actually playing better at the end of his time at Leeds than he has ever played for Barcelona, and yet he's suddenly worth £45 million more just because he's a Barcelona player. I think it's be careful what I say here, but I don't think it's totally right that they should be able to ask that much for him. Brendan Harrison shoots, tries to curl it, but Raya is able to catch it. Just wasn't enough venom on that shot. But at least Aronson having a little bit of confidence and trying to have a shot, but there just wasn't enough power in that. I think Jesse's going to make his substitutions in the 60th minute. Pete saying, I hear Romeo Beckham is available and might be good for our under-21s. Is he not just signed for Brentford? (70-30) the percentage of possession Leeds have had in this second half. We've had 70% possession, but we need to capitalise on it. And I know it's not always the right stat to look at because really Brentford are purposely giving away possession, or not giving away possession, but are purposely letting us have possession. Ball into Strout here. Strout tries to play it into Harrison, but it's gone to Nonto. Nonto looks to try and get it into the box, but he's defended well by Roslev. Ball to Verba. Verba has a shot, hits a Brentford player. Leeds are appealing for a handball and a penalty. It looked like it might have been the shoulder of Ethan Pinnock, but he went down like that to try and block it. Yeah, I think it's hit him in the chest / shoulder, but Leeds have got to appeal for it, haven't they? Even though I'd be getting annoyed if Brentford were appealing for that at the other end. Excuse me. Leeds have won another throw in here. Leeds fans are getting up for it because Leeds are Bamford and Simeon should be one of them. Yeah, I think 60th minute is when we need to start bringing on players like Bamford and Sinister. And Bamford looked like he came out at halftime with his shirt like in his hands or around his neck, on top of his training gear. So hopefully that was a sign that he's got his shirt because he's going to be coming on. Just got the hiccups there, excuse me. Rodrigo shooting from the edge of the box. Great save by Raya, but really well done there from Rodrigo. He's gone for a goal kick, apparently. I don't know how that was. Rodrigo shoots. David Raya makes a good save, and then that's a corner if ever I've seen one. That's definitely a corner. Good save, good strike from Rodrigo, and then Nonto tries to win a shoulder barge with Rico Henry, and it looked to me like Rico Henry just kicked that straight out, but you can hear the chorus of marching on together going out round Elland Road now. David Raya going to take this goal kick then. Haaland has scored again. I gave up on my fantasy team ages ago, and I haven't looked at it in ages, but I did have Haaland as captain, and I just left him as captain. So I think he'll be doing all right for me this week. Haaland is ridiculous, isn't he? He hasn't scored for about 3 or 4 games, so he thought, do you know what, I'll just score 3 in one game. Looks like Brentford might be making a substitution here, making the first move. I think it's Jan Elt that's going to be coming on. Long throw in then from Brentford. It's bouncing around a little bit, but Rodrigo's able to clear it, only as far as Henry, who tries to put it back across to Mbermo, but Ayling's won the header, only to Ben Mee, then flicked on by Mbermo, and defended by Robin Koch and Ayling together, but only as far as Henry again. Back to Ben Mee. Ben Mee tries to play it down the line to Mbermo, but Ayling cuts it out. It's a very scrappy at the moment, but Leeds might be able to break here. Ball with Rodrigo. Rodrigo tries to play it through to Nonto. Nonto's in behind, but Raya's well aware of what's going on there. Comes out, claims, and sends that long. Pete saying it's now time for fresh legs. Great ball there from Rodrigo, trying to curl it into the box for Ayling at the back post. Brentford hitting the bench first. Jesse does like to be reactive rather than proactive. Yeah, he does, I think. And I think he should make decisions and changes earlier on than he does, but he seems to leave it. Michael saying he thought Ivan Toney should have been suspended. I don't know why he's not. I haven't done enough research into it, but I don't know why he's not, actually. Yeah, Aronson was just trying to win the ball off Mbermo there, and Mbermo's... The linesman's right in front of it, and Mbermo's just thrown himself onto the floor, and it's somehow a free kick to Brentford, and you can see why Aronson was so fuming about that. Josh De Silva's coming off then for Vitaly Janelt. So Leeds haven't made any substitutions yet, but you've got to feel that it might be soon. Long ball forward from Raya then, and it's gone into touch. Ayling has it on the halfway line with the throw-in. Ayling tries to send it long. Won by Henry, or Pinnock, sorry. Ayling again forward. It's like heading tennis at the moment. Leeds have won it back though here with Rocker. Rocker little back heel into Aronson. Aronson plays it into the feet of Harrison and Leeds can break now. Leeds driving forward, trying to play a ball through into Nonto's feet and Nonto just can't control it. It was a bit too hard for him to keep that under his spell there. Now's the time with 30 to go. I agree, leaves it a bit late for me. Subs, yeah, he does. I can't understand why he wouldn't make one sub at half time and then another one at the 60th minute and just try and affect the game. But he almost waits for them to make a move and then decides what he's going to do against that. And they have now. They've brought on Vitaly Janel, which I don't really know what's going to change about Jesse's tactics, but Rocker's just absolutely lumped that with his weak foot for no reason. It's gone all the way to the opposite side of the pitch where Rico Henry now has it. Gives it back to Ben Mee and he sends it long. Rocker plays it into the feet of Harrison. Harrison plays it out wide to Rodrigo. In the box are Aronson and Nonto, two of our shortest players. Ayling. Oh, it goes over. Ayling tries to chip it into the box. And Brentford are able to clear as well. Marathon Legendele Nemerai is perplexed as to why Aronson gets the nod ahead of Joffy. I don't really know, and I don't know if Joffy's really suited to that role. I think he's maybe suited to one of the wider roles, and he's not going to get in over Harrison or Nonto. So it's hard to tell really. But I do hope that Aronson maybe is brought off now for Sinistera. Adams now with the ball into Nonto, back to Adams. Adams on the edge of the box, looking for a pass. Gives it to Rodrigo. Rodrigo looks for a pass. Only can go backwards to Robin Koch. Into Verber's feet. Verber into Rocker. Rocker then tries to play it forward to Nonto, who knocks it off to Strauch, who plays it wide to Harrison. Harrison looking for a chance to get the ball in here. Plays it across the box to Adams. Back into Rocker. Rocker looking for a cross. Poor pass along the floor. Has only gone to the Brentford player. And then Rocker is trying to run back to his own goal, and Burmo just runs into him and falls over and somehow wins a free kick. Isaac, CAFC, ops on Charlton, as in opinions. To be honest, I haven't paid any attention to the Championship since we got promoted. Are they even in the Championship or they're in League One now? Aronson's only option in the box appears to be a no-look back heel. Yeah, he does seem to be trying stuff like that, and nothing's coming off for him, is it? Verber's just stepped out there and won the ball in a good position. Ayling now with the ball, but he's sort of nudged off it. But Rodrigo tries to win it back. And Brentford he nearly booted the ball away and got a yellow card there. And he's going to get a yellow card anyway. Rodrigo thought about booting the ball away, and instead of booting the ball away, he stopped and thought, I don't want to get a yellow card. So he picked it up, punched it at the ground, and he's got a yellow card for it. The amount of times I've seen players actually kick the ball away and not get a yellow card, but because it's Leeds, Rodrigo just gets a yellow card for that. It's ridiculous. Ayling tries to play a ball forward. And then the referee gets in the way. This referee, Leeds need to make a substitute. Michael's saying, looks like Burnley 19 points clear of third place. Sheffield United 13 points clear. Oh, second place. Heading back to the Premier League, yeah. And also, I think Burnley have started playing tiki-taka football, so I don't think it will be as bad having them back in the Premier League. It wouldn't be as horrible to watch. Although I'm definitely not a fan of claret and blue kits. I think they're just not. It's not a nice combination. I think West Ham, Aston Villa, and Burnley, they all have horrible kits because that colour scheme just isn't nice. Yeah, Rodrigo, let's hope he doesn't take his shirt off now if he scores. We need to make a change. We need to try something if we're going to try and win this game. We need to try and make a substitution. And Jesse just doesn't look like he's ready to make it yet. I don't know. Maybe he thinks that it's going well and he doesn't need to change anything. But I think we need some options in those attacking positions. Maybe he's going to give Bamford and Bruta the last 20 minutes or Sinistera. I don't know. But you can bring players on at different times. I don't see why he hasn't brought them on earlier. Long ball forward, won by Leeds. Aronson tries to win it, but it's only gone as far as Pinnock, who sends it long. Verber's won the ball. Jensen tries to play it down the line, but Ayling's blocked it. It's gone out for a throw-in. Come on, Jesse, make some substitutions, please. We need to see some. We need to see you trying something to win this game. Robin Coxton well there. Long ball there from Ayling. Rodrigo's done well to turn his man, and now it's 2-on-2 at the back. Rodrigo's running in. He's got a chance to pass it to Harrison, but passes it to Nonto. Nonto shoots! Oh, saved by Raya. I think Rodrigo makes the wrong decision there. Rodrigo does really well to spin his man, and then he makes the wrong decision. He goes to Nonto instead of going to Harrison, who I think Harrison was probably the better option. And then Nonto's shot is saved onto the... Oh, not even onto the post. It's just saved by David Raya, so corner. I do think that Harrison was the better option there to slide him in for a shot across the goalkeeper on his left foot. It's going to be a corner now from Mark Rocker. It's gone to the front post and is cleared. If we concede now without a sub or two, and I'll be well peed off, Kelvin's saying, yeah. And rightly so, because in these situations, you need to make a substitution to try and affect the game, to try and win it, and we're not doing that. I think the only player who's not really having a positive contribution in the attacking department is Aronson, and I think he maybe needs to come off for Sinistera or Ruta, or Ayling tries to curl one in, and David Raya is able to catch that. But Leeds were trying to defend Ivan Toney there, but Ivan Toney's tripped up Robin Koch. If Leeds conceded first, then I can't see them beating Brentford. Sinistera looks like he's coming on. That's what we want to see. A positive attacking change. I mean, Jermaine Beckford's saying that right now on my headphones. Positive attacking. That's what I said. Aronson off. Sinistera on. Well done, Aronson, but I think we needed that to try and revitalise what we've got in here. And Luis Sinistera, we saw the goal that he scored against Brentford last time we played them when he flicked it over the head and ran through and scored and was excellent. So hopefully Sinistera provides that bit of spark in there. Martin's saying he's been feeling unusually calm so far during the course of this match. I shan't just listen to Joe for a while yet, though. He always freaks me out during matches. Thanks for staying level. Yeah, I try my best to stay level, but I do think it's been less... Ayling coming into the box now, though. Tries to get it across the box and Raya's able to catch it there, but Leeds are building stuff here. Yeah, I think, Martin, that Leeds seem a lot more solid at the back today, and especially with Verba in there, we just seem so much more solid. So I think when you do play like that, you sort of you make your whole fan base play act a little bit more calm and feel a little bit more calm about things, and you start to see the only goals you can start to see are going in at the right end for your team. Although I say that, and a loose touch has created an opportunity for Brentford to counter-attack, but I think a Leeds player was brought down by Ivan Toney there, and he's got a yellow card. Yeah, Ivan Toney's cost his team there, because Brentford were running through after a Leeds mistake to try and do something, and Ivan Toney's just grabbed Robin Koch round the head and thrown him to the ground. And it's ridiculous from him. I would be fuming if I was a Brentford player or fan. Rob saying Brentford's attack seems to be hoping Toney can isolate a defender on the break. No doubt Toney has some coin on himself getting the opener. Yes, this is a joke for any people watching libelous. But yeah, I can see what you mean, that they're trying to isolate Toney against Robin Koch, but Robin Koch's dealt with him so well today that I can tell that Ivan Toney's getting annoyed and starting to try and physically battle Robin Koch in there now. But he's done it twice in a row now, where first one was a free kick, second one was a yellow card and a free kick. So dangerous break that there. They had Freeman on the right. Rob saying, yeah, exactly. Xmarks97 saying, to be fair, I expected more than this from Brentford. They can ping it around much more than this. Yeah, they can, and I do think as a clear tactic when teams come to Elland Road to do this. Jack Harrison shoots, and Raya is able to catch it after it bounces out of his hands. Come on, Leeds, we need 3 points from this game. I'll be so much happier if we do. I can see this one ending 0-0 though, to be honest, and then we're no further along knowing whether Jesse Marsch is the right man for the job, are we? If we just continue to get draws, and Brentford are attacking at the moment. Ball down the line, ball about to come into the box. It's curled in, and Melly is able to catch it. Strap plays it out wide to Nonto then. Nonto trying to run over the halfway line. Nonto tries to get the ball through to Harrison, but as he was trying to pass it, he was sort of barged off the ball. GNC saying we need 3 points. Yeah, we definitely need 3 points. And it's a big opportunity to get 3 points, Brentford at home. Last season, we had that one where we were able to rescue it. I think I was in the Cop in the North Stand upper in the Cop with my dad last season at the Brentford game when we drew 2-2, and Bamford scored that late equaliser and injured himself again. But we just don't seem to have that much luck against Brentford, and hopefully that can change today, because it's an opportunity to get a big 3 points in this season. Ayling's just won a tackle against Rico Henry there, but it's a throw into Brentford. Leeds look like they're going to make another sub here, maybe, or unless it's a Brentford sub. It is. It's Johan Visser for Brian and Burmo here. Yeah, Rob saying, to be fair, it's a good performance so far. It is. Defensively, I used to play as a defender, and so when I watch us have a good defensive performance, I actually do enjoy it when I can see us making good tackles. I can see us making good challenges and defending well, reading the game well. I enjoy that side of the game as well. So when we do play well defensively, I also enjoy it, but we just need to use that as a platform to go and get a 1-0 victory or something. It's going to be a long throw here, though. Yeah, I don't like Brentford's kit either, to be honest. Long throw in into the box from Brentford here, flicked on by Rodrigo for a Brentford corner here. Rodrigo looks a little bit guilty here after doing that, but it's the best he could do in the situation. Brentford have over the last 5 games are second in the league on points gained, though, to be fair. Yeah, but I think all teams have a purple patch, don't they? And it's just those teams at the top that are able to keep that going. So I think a team like Brentford isn't much better than us when you actually look at the personnel that they've got. Ball whipped in then by Brentford. Meslier punches away. Back headed into the box by Rico Henry. Away by Strauch. Trying to get it away, Leeds here, but it's bobbled through to Meslier, who's able to catch it there. So a little bit of safety for a while here. Tyler Adams with the ball then. Plays it into the feet of Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison running over the halfway line with it. He's got Strauch and Nonto ahead of him. Strauch down the line receives the ball from him. Back into Harrison. Leeds looking at options, but Brentford are just so compact at the back. Little ball over the top. Very good defending by Ayer there, Christoph Ayer. Leeds just tried to chip the ball over his head, and he was able to flick it on into the gloves of David Raya there. But oh yeah, I've just seen the preview of Arsenal versus Scum, and it looked very weird that Trossard was in an Arsenal shirt, and Weghorst is in the starting lineup for Man United. Weird. I must have very good memory to remember our defence making me proud. Yeah, well, the last time our defence was solid was at the end of the first Premier League season when we didn't concede against all. We managed to not lose against all the big clubs in that last run. That's the last time our defence was really solid, but today I think we've been decent defensively. Rocker now with the ball. Gives it into Nonto, down the line to Pascal Strauch, and Pascal Strauch's been tripped there, and Leeds have got a free kick in an attacking position. Jesse, please make another. I actually haven't seen Sinistera yet. I haven't seen him touch the ball. I don't think I've seen Sinistera touch the ball yet. Patrick Bamford's about to come on. I can tell because the whole crowd's going do. Watching Strauch in attack reminds me of how badly we need a left back. Yeah, I think Strauch does a good job there for a centre back. But really, we do need we do need an actual out and out left back to fill in that role, and not Firpo, because whilst Firpo can be good going forward, he's almost like someone who's not good enough to be a winger but not good enough to be a fullback because his defensive ability lacks a lot. Rocker now into the box with this free kick, and it's punched away by Raya. It's gone to Rodrigo on the edge of on about halfway into the Brentford half here. Poor touch from Rocker as the ball is cleared long back to him. There you go, I got both subs right. Yeah, those were the ones we were calling for, weren't they, Kelvin? That Cine and Bamford would be good ones to have on here. Hopefully, well, I don't know. Maybe Rutter doesn't get his debut today. Yes, it's a straight swap for Rodrigo here. Rodrigo off Bamford, and I think Rodrigo's done okay today when he's had the chances. He's tried to open up his body and have shots at goal, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to see why Jesse's left it so late to bring on these substitutions. Michael saying, have to admit Ten Hag has done well at Scum. More impressed by how he dealt with the poisonous Ronaldo, with the issues he was causing at the club, as the results have since proven. Yeah, I do. I've not really got anything against Ten Hag because I liked him when he was at Ajax. I liked how he dealt with Ronaldo, get him out. But I don't really like to see Scum doing well. Would have kept Rodrigo on to play with Bamford. I don't know. I feel like the way we've played, it's been okay to have a lone striker, but Bamford offers something different than what Rodrigo does, and he can hold it up and bring in players around him more than what Rodrigo can, I think. Elling's won the ball back well there off Henry. Does a little chip forward to Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams is going to get fouled here and win the free kick from Johan Wissa. Pete saying it's so tight in the league, 3 points today could be so important. Yeah, it's so tight, and 3 points puts us back above that point per game target that we've got. So that could actually be really important for Leeds. Meslier is going to take this this free kick long then. 80th minute here at Elland Road. Long ball forward. Bamford's picked up the ball here on the edge of the box. Bamford trying to run into the box here. He's going to try and get something here. Tries to do a little flick. And it's cleared long. And dealt with well by Robin Koch. Leeds are trying to just keep the ball here, but the ball keeps pinging around like pinball. Marathon saying, I want Scum to finish top 4 as they will struggle in the league next season with the Champions League. Yeah, we've all got our ways of hoping that Scum do badly, haven't we? But yes, hopefully they lose today. I'd like to see Arsenal do okay. I've got nothing against Arsenal, and with all the young players that they're bringing through and the way that they play. Stuart Dallas and Liam Cooper pictured on the bench there, who were seen encouraging Click to flip off the Cardiff fans in his goodbye sort of parade. Leeds have won another free kick here. Adams tries to play it quickly down the line to Patrick Bamford, who takes a good touch. Bamford plays it into Sinistera's feet. Sinistera and Bamford linking up for the first time in months. Ethan Pinnock's done well there to play the ball against Luis Sinistera, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Brentford. Is Dallas likely to miss the rest of the season? I'm not sure, really, to be honest. I think he went back for another minor operation recently, but I don't know how much of a role he's going to play in the season. But it might not be much. I can't see him being a regular by the end of the season, to be honest. He might not even be the same again, to be honest, after breaking his leg like that. But hopefully he comes back strong. Strout now with the ball. Strout chips it over the halfway line for Harrison, who takes a great touch into Bamford's feet. Bamford with the ball now, having a look up. He's got players ahead of him. Plays it into Sinistera's feet. Sinistera's in the box. Sinistera tries to wriggle through and doesn't quite manage to keep the ball there. So frustrating for Leeds. And Robin Koch's just going to get a yellow card there, I think, for his tackle on Ivan Toney. Oh, so unlucky for Leeds, but the more this goes on, the more I can see it finishing 0-0. Bamford plays the ball into Sinistera and he just can't sort his feet out. So unlucky there. Thomas Frank having a proper think tank with most of his coaches. I didn't notice that, but yeah, they're probably going to try and throw everything at it in the last 5 minutes and try and win the game. What about Dan James, as it looks like Fulham are not likely to take up the option of securing him? Yeah, I don't know really about Dan James. I wonder if it would be just best to sell him. Somebody like Forest would buy him. That's what they're like, isn't it, Forest? They would just buy him because they've got money and they just buy anyone. So we could offload him to somebody like Forest. Or one of the teams that gets promoted that season. Ball into the box. Roslev at the back post. Have we signed that young Portuguese left back yet? No, we've not signed any left back yet, but other than Verba, who could be considered left back, but isn't quite a regular there. Oh, Rocker's just played a bad pass into... Brentford have now got the ball on the right-hand side. Tony's going to try and put it into the box. Verba tries to clear it, and Koch is able to clear it, but only for a Brentford corner. Oh, you can just see it happening now, can't you? You can just see it happening now. Brentford have got a corner here, and they've got some giants coming up. Ayer and Pinnock, both well over 6 foot. Please don't tell me that Rocker is marking Pinnock. I know we're zonal now, but Rocker for Greenwood might be a good shout. Yeah, I think he provides a little bit more of attacking threat. Come on, Leeds. You've got to win this corner and then break. Don't do a Joe on me, Max. Yeah, we're being positive. It's a long corner all the way to the back post, and Leeds are able to clear it, but only as far as a Brentford player, which is Ruslev, and he's gone down, dived there to try and win a free kick, and Rocker has won the ball off him, and it's going to be a Leeds goal kick. So we're fine from that corner. We're fine. Everybody stop panicking. Not like I was. Robin Koch tries to send it long, but it's gone straight to a Brentford player. Johan Visser tries to come inside, gets it into the box with Rico Henry, and it's defended well by Mark Rocker. Leeds have won a goal kick from Ayling. God, that was panic time there. Rico Henry tried to cut it across, and Rocker did really well to block it, and then Ayling kicked the ball off a Brentford player for a Leeds goal kick. Looks like Greenwood is coming on. Mystic Rob Bailey. Rocker for Greenwood might be a good shout. He said that a few minutes ago, and now he's coming on. Unless he's coming on for somebody else, but I can imagine it probably would be Rocker, especially given that Rocker keeps making mistakes in there. I wanted to see Rutter today. I really did. I wanted to see Rutter play, but at the moment doesn't look like that's going to happen. If Leeds don't win, do you think the anti-Jesse content creators we know will turn on him even more? It's hard to say, really, isn't it? Because I think that we've done one thing right today, and that is defend well. We've been lucky a few little times, but most of the time it's just been good defending. And so hopefully there's a positive to take in that Leeds haven't conceded in 87 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll just caveat that. But Leeds haven't conceded, and I think we've done well at that, but it's just we need to score a goal. Nonto's just won a free kick off Ivan Toney in a good position there. He did it on purpose. I could see him trying to do it. Brentford are the informed team. It's a good result if it stays 0-0. Yeah, but there's good results and getting draws, and there's a time where you need to start picking up 3 points, especially at home. I don't know how there probably isn't going to be many minutes added on, and we're in the 89th minute now, so Bamford's getting himself into the box. Greenwood and Harrison are over this one. Because if Leeds draw or lose against Forest, I can see ELLAND's back much more. We have far better side than our league position suggests. Yeah, we've played well today. I think we really have played well today. It's just frustrating to see that we aren't picking up more points from these situations. Free kick about to come in then. Rocket runs over at Harrison, gets there, back post. Just headed away by Ruslev, I think it was. But Sinistera with a throw in then on the opposite side. Gives it back to Adams. Leeds really need to fashion a chance here and to try and score, because there's 1 minute of regular time to go. Bamford tries to flick it onto the box. Flicks it to Robin Koch, but Brentford are able to clear it. Brentford clear it all the way down the pitch. Brentford are nearly in here, but Verba does well. But it's still Brentford with the ball. Plays into the box, and Meslier is well out to get it. Oh, that was nervy. That was nervy. Melier's looking for options and doesn't really have any, but he now rolls it out to Pascal Struijk, who's now driving with the ball down the left-hand side. He's got Nonto beyond him, but not many other options. Plays the ball into Bamford. Bamford with the ball on the edge of the box. It's called offside. It's called offside. That offside may have cost us there. 3 minutes to go. That's your timer up above for 3 minutes. Added time. Come on, Leeds. Ayling tries a bicycle click to clear it, but it's only gone straight to a Brentford player, and now Ayling's out of position. Ball into the box from Rico Henry. Header goes over everybody with a looping header and bounces past Mellier's post. Yeah, Leeds have got off lucky there. Tony could have had a much better header at that and maybe would have had a chance of scoring there, but Meslier is able to just watch it float past his post. Meslier with the long ball forward, but it's only headed straight back to Tony, who's managed to get past Cock here. Cock and Adams trying to double up on him to go in the ball, and now Greenwood has won it off him, but it's Greenwood hit it straight at the referee and went straight back to a Brentford player, and he's not blown up this time. Jensen now with the ball. Back to Ben Mee. Tries to play it inside. Down the line. It's now into Henry. Now Janelt tries to play it into Visser, but Struijk is there to stop it. And now Struijk has played a ball to Bamford. Bamford's got Nonto in support, but he doesn't really know at the moment. He's giving it back to Jack Harrison. Leeds are trying to attack here. 1 minute to go. Leeds with the ball down the line to Bamford. Bamford's not got enough support with him. Harrison now with the ball. These players really need to help Harrison out because he's got no options. Harrison down the line, tries to play it into the box, and Leeds have won a corner. 53 seconds to go, and Leeds have got a corner here. Jack Harrison and Sam Greenwood stood over this one. It's Sam Greenwood who looks like he's going to be the one to take it. Come on, Greenwood. Produce that quality. We know that you're our best set-piece taker. Put it in the right area. Come on. Ball into the box. Headed away. But it's only gone as far as Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison back into the box. Shoots! And Raya's able to catch it. And I think that's going to be that. Brentford try and throw the ball long. But they've won a free kick. Leeds have won a free kick because Janelt brought down a Leeds player by tripping him up. Leeds have got a free kick yet here, but I feel as though it may be that as soon as they take it, the final whistle is going to go. As you can see above me, the 3 minutes have been played now. Yeah, Janelt just ran straight past Cock and tripped him up there. Leeds have got one last chance to put the ball forward into the box, and I think it's going to be Meslier who's going to take it. Oh no, maybe Sam Greenwood's going to take it, but Mellier's up on the halfway line with him, maybe giving him some instructions. Had to tie with my fingers crossed, Pete saying. Sam Greenwood knocks the ball forward then. It's gone to Struijk, and Struijk's headed it straight into the hands of David Raya, and it's finished 0-0 at Elland Road. So that's it then. 0-0 at Elland Road between Leeds United and Brentford there. I think... yeah. Let's have a look at the Leeds table then and where that leaves us. The Leeds table, the league table, and where that leaves us. Wolves are 3-0 down, so it takes Leeds up into 15th place. And we've also got a game in hand around from 10th to 20th, everybody's played 20 games and we've only played 19. So we have got a game in hand. And if we were to win that game, that would take us up to 13th. So it's not the end of the world, really, is it, that result? Good clean sheet, but we needed 3 points. Yeah, definitely. Did Brentford get a shot on target? Rob saying, I don't think so. But yeah, it's good to see that it didn't really feel like we were going to concede. But it's worrying that we didn't then score. But 0-0 against Brentford isn't too horrendous. The game in hand, I think we've got one against Forest. And I think we play Man United twice in a row, don't we? Straight away. On the 5th of Feb, we play Forest away. Then we've got Man United away, and then Man United at home 4 days later. And then we've got Everton and Southampton, so those ones are big games. But by that time, I'm hoping that we'll have got 3 points against Forest, which would take us above them and into a bit more security. But we are 15th with 18 points. So, yeah, it's hard to say really how to take that one. Not the worst, answered everybody's play of defensive improvement. Martin saying, no goals conceded with Verber on the pitch. Yeah, we still haven't conceded a goal with Verber on the pitch, and I think he's been excellent. I really rated him today. And I thought Koch was better as well, actually, in that battle with Ivan Toney. So, yeah, I think that was good in there. Rob saying, yeah, agrees with me. The game in hand is Forest. Like I said, Forest. So I think that one's still TBD, but we have got Forest next in the Prem after our FA Cup weekend next weekend against Accrington Stanley or Boreham Wood, which I will be live for again. So don't forget to join me for our 4th round. Hear that? Leeds United in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Your ears don't deceive you. We actually are in the 4th round of the FA Cup. But yeah, I will be live for that on the channel. So make sure you come back and check that out at the weekend. DRWA11 is saying, Dr. Wallace maybe. Made early subs, Cardiff 5-0, okay, Cardiff, but still, yeah, we need to make subs earlier in games. I don't know why Jesse waited so long. Michael saying, if Leeds don't beat Forest, can you see Jesse keeping his job? I think we will beat Forest, so we need to have that confidence going into it. We beat Forest, and things look a lot better. Rob saying Koch benefits from not having Llorente next to him, knowing what is going to happen next. Yeah, him never knowing what's going to happen next. Yeah, I agree with that. I think genuinely having what's his face Verber next to him has really helped him out there today. Tassenrechner 85 or Taschenrechner. Jesse out, not good enough today. We had to win. I think we created chances. It's just that we weren't good enough to finish them off. And Brentford are very good defensively. They're unbeaten in 8. So I don't think we can complain too much about getting a draw against them. I think that's a decent result. I would have liked to have won. Michael saying Forest unbeaten in 6. Yeah, but then I just feel Forest are... all runs come to an end and Forest don't go on a run of more than 6 games unbeaten, I don't think. So I think we're going to beat them. Took off Rodrigo and Bamford, should have taken off Harrison. I think Harrison was okay today, but maybe Ruta should have come on. I really think Ruta should have come on. Pete saying, great stream, thank you. I'm okay with draw. Yeah, I think it keeps us pretty much on that point per game thing. But if we beat Forest, that really will help us out in the league. So hopefully we do that. Kelvin saying, and we'll be in the 5th round. Hopefully. Cheers for the commentary. Thanks, Kelvin. Off to the beach. Yeah, it doesn't really look like beach weather where I am, but so enjoy that. Rob saying Brentford have won 4 of their last 5. Yeah, they have, and they were in good form. So, and they're obviously a decent side. So I think we've done okay to get a draw out of them at Elland Road. I would have liked to win. Leeds 1-2 saying must beat Forest. Yeah, it's a must win that one. Brentford aren't as Forest aren't as good as Brentford, so I think we definitely do need to get a result out of that. Michael saying great stream, Max. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. That was possible. That was possible poor, especially the passing. I'm not sure what that means, Anthony. That was possible poor. We were the better side, but needed more width. Yeah, I think the overlapping and stuff that we had against Cardiff worked better when we had Firpo on, ironically, but I think that was against a team where we could afford to do that a bit more. That was piss poor, yeah, especially the passing. Yeah, I think we did panic, especially early on in the game. We were panicking a little bit more in attacking positions, but I think as it went on, I think we did improve in that capacity. But I just we need to improve on that final third passing. The relegation zone is a logjam now. Yeah, it's just so tight down there that's what I mean. That's why we need to beat. That's why we need to beat Forest. Kelvin saying Cardiff are not Brentford. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Cardiff are nowhere near as good as Brentford, so we can afford to play like that against them. So, Brentford are a decent team. Let's not forget. We've got to try and figure out some way of beating them, and to get a point out of it is not the end of the world. Hope Lampard is still. Yeah, subs. Leeds 1-2 saying about the subs. Yeah, that should have been earlier, definitely. Neil saying deja vu with Leeds. It's not really though, is it? Because most of the time we can score goals. It's just that we keep conceding too many. Today we didn't concede any, and we just needed to score more. I think it's also almost the complete opposite of deja vu. We've just not been good enough at the back, and we are now. Or we were in that game at least. I thought Verba was excellent again. I'm going to hop off now, though, because I'm going to actually make some more videos. So look out for a Zaniolo video on the channel, Nicolo Zaniolo, and we've been linked with a couple of left-backs as well, so look out for that as well. There'll be a couple of videos coming out on the channel in the next couple of days. So, yeah, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. Thank you for joining me on this one. Thank you for everybody who's been with me throughout the live stream. Makes it a lot easier to watch when I've got people to talk to about it as well. But yeah, Pete saying as well, excited to see Ruta next game. Yeah, and I would like to see him against. Is he eligible to play against Accrington or Boreham Wood? Because if he can get a couple of goals there and get his confidence up, that would be nice. Yeah, Rob's probably off to bed now. Night, Rob. Right. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I'm going to make some videos now, so look out for them on the channel, like I say. Yes, look out for the stream again as well on Saturday. Thank you. Bye.